All right, guys, congratulations. We made it to 300 before the end of the year. So thank you, everybody that liked and subscribed and shared on your socials. We made it. Got 300. Let's keep going. I want to get to 500 one step at a time, but thank you. With that said, as promised, today is the breakdown video for how to tear down the halogen headlights on the Audi A4. Let's get right into it. So then here's your headlight. There's 5 clips like this, 1, 2, and then 3 on the bottom, 3, 4, 5. You pop those off, and then you bake this bad boy at 200 degrees for 15 minutes. When you do that, that softens up all this rubber that's across here that seals the headlight and makes it so you can peel it apart. Really, it is just that easy. Sometimes you got to get in here with like a little flat blade or a pry bar and get it started. But at that temperature for that long, that rubber gets real nice and soft. You should be able to just pull it apart. Get some gloves, and this thing literally just pulls apart like this. When I took these apart, if you bake them that 200 for 15 minutes, it comes apart really that easy. All right, so getting this far was the easy part. The part I struggled with the most was how do we get these 2 reflectors out? So it turns out you come around this side, and I don't know if you can see in there, I'll shine a flashlight. We have 3 little tabs in there. On this one, there's one here, there's one down in the bottom, and there's one up here. On this one, there's one up here, one over here, and then one down on the bottom. So if you just get a real small flat blade screwdriver in there and push those tabs up, it's basically like a pocket, and then the tab sits down in it. So you have to pick that tab up and then slide the pocket out real careful without breaking the lights. This kind of plastic is meant to handle high heat, obviously, from the bulbs. So it's very brittle. So you have to be careful when you pop those out. But then these just pull straight out, and that'll give you access to the rest of the insides. All right, so same on the other one. You can kind of see from this view where those little tabs are at and how you got to come in from inside, get your little screwdriver in between there and push that little hook out. So here on this one, you can see these are those little tabs, right? That's what you're trying to get out. So it's got like a little circle thing, and then the tab hooks right into it. They're pretty tough, but just take your time, go easy, you get them out. All right, so getting this side marker out, there's a clip up here. You probably want to get a little screwdriver under there, pry it real careful. And then the bottom, there's a couple of clips that face opposite directions, so they hook. I can't really do it this way. So those are a little tricky to get out. Okay, this little piece unplugs on the back of here. It's a little tricky to get that apart, but just a little careful wiggle, you get it out. Here's the 2 tabs on the bottom. You can see the hooks face different directions. That's why it's so tricky to get out. And then there's the tab on the top. You got to be careful not to break that. Next, we got this little screw right here to take this all apart. These 2 pieces are kind of hooked together, but they also hook to all the rest of this assembly. So they're a little tricky. All right, so this far apart, there's a screw right here and a screw right there that have to come out. So when we get this far, there's 2 screws, one down here and one up here. So getting this out, I've got mine unplugged. You can also twist these out and then get this piece of the housing out of the way before you unplug them. So then the bulbs come out of the holders just like that. So then this one here is the P13 for the DRLs. We'll take those out. And then this is the turn signal bulb. So these are HPC 24WY. So that's the turn signal bulb. That's a special bulb. They're kind of hard to find. Okay, so if you see, there's a tab here and a tab here, There's a little screw spot here, and then there's a spot for a screw up top. So as these come apart, when you go to put this back together, you got to make sure that you line up those in the right place. On this screw inside here, you'll see there's some slots cut in this housing that I'm sliding in, and some ribs on the part where the screw goes into, right? So you have to line it up right there. 2 screws, one here, one here. And don't forget this little wire right here. Goes through the little tiny hole right there. And you've got some locking tabs. So once you put this in place, it kind of wants to stay. The screws are just a bonus. Okay, so 2 screws here and here. On this piece of the eyelid, I'll just slot these together real fast. You've got these 2 hooks that go into here, and this has to go in this way. And at the same time, all of these tabs underneath lock into these tabs on the bottom. So this is the eyelid piece. You can see the 2 little hooks right there, or whatever you want to call this. So obviously the order on these is a little tricky. You've got these tabs that slot into the same places as the ones on this little eyelid piece, right? You got this tab that goes over here in the corner, and then this tab that goes over here in the corner. All this kind of has to slot together real careful like. Underneath of here, you can see there's these 3 tabs. They go into these 3 little slots on this clear plastic piece. So, and then of course, there's the 1 screw right here. Okay, there you have it. Last step, put the lens back on, bake it at 200 for another 10 or so minutes. Then what I did personally was I put the clips back on and then baked it for another like 5 to make sure that that butyl rubber really kind of set and sealed together really good. So that's it. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share on your socials. Talk to you soon.